Yeah, bull. Yeah, what is that?
Our guest is here.
Who's that?
That would be Jackie Mason.
Oh, Jackie Mason's here.
Oh.
What's he want?
He was coming
He
in.
wants to promote
You better not screw up my campaign like you did Giuliani's.
Yeah, don't have him endorse you.
He's not going to talk about Schwarz's, is he?
No.
It's all right, he can. It won't hurt my campaign. I like Jackie Mason.
But don't have him endorse you. Everybody he endorses loses.
I know. I don't want his endorsement. Jackie Mason actually opening up a new play called Politically Incorrect.
Yes, I saw the signs up on Broadway the other day.
Comedy Central tried to sue him to keep him from using the name Politically Incorrect, which was a joke.
Bill Maher.
Yeah, Bill Maher.
In specific.
Bill Maher has a TV show called Politically Incorrect. He tried to...
he owns that word.
Yeah, he owns the word Politically Incorrect. Nitwit.
And people will get them confused.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll get confused between Jackie Mason's Broadway play and a show that no one sees, like Bill Maher's.
They might actually tune in thinking they're going to see Jackie Mason, and that would be a problem for him.
Yeah, that would be terrible for Comedy Central, but they might actually look like they had Jackie Mason working on the channel. Anyway, let me just finish this news report, and then we'll get Jackie Mason. Anyway, let me take a break. Jackie Mason's here. He's going to come in and plug his Politically Incorrect show. He's a funny dude.
Yeah, I missed his last Broadway show. I have to...
yeah, he's good. I saw his Broadway show.
I saw the HBO special they did of it, but I never saw him live and in person.
He's real funny. Real funny. What's his story? He's still married?
No, I don't know what happened. He married, and then I heard that they were living in separate places. And
that sounds good.
It didn't work out. I don't know what's going on.
That doesn't sound so bad to me. Married.
He was sleeping through engagements. I don't know.
Really? Jackie is a pretty wacky guy.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense on stage. I don't know that in real life.
The only place you need to make sense is on stage. I know I start to fall apart in real life. All right, let's take a break, and then we'll talk with Jackie Mason right after these words.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
All right, let me bring in the great Jackie Mason. In my book, I call him one of the 3 funniest men in the world.
Yes, you do. Give him high plaudits, as they say.
Yeah, he wrote me a note saying thanks. I mean...
Well, this is a man who was almost ruined by Ed Sullivan.
Yeah. Hey, Jackie, good to see you.
Experienced
take a seat.
Incredible comeback.
It's like the president walked in the room.
Hello.
You got a suit and everything, man. You're taking this very seriously. And put on the headphones.
Yeah, nobody dresses up for us, Jackie.
He doesn't know that a lot of people dress like this. He doesn't know this.
Give Jackie some headphones.
That's how old Jews dress.
Is that how old the Jews dress? Jackie Mason is here, of course, and Jackie Mason's new show is Politically Incorrect. And I'm glad you're here. I thought you were afraid of coming on the show.
I don't remember being afraid. I just thought you may be a little too dirty for my character.
Yeah, but I mean, you're kind of outspoken
you're
guy.
Racy.
You're racy.
I'm very outspoken, but I never said a 4-letter word in my life on the stage.
Yeah, but I don't say 4-letter words.
Not exactly, but you make implications that are very, maybe a little dirtier than the 4-letter words. For you, a 4-letter word would be a clean show.
Hey, Jackie, move closer to the microphone. I want to hear every one of your words.
Right.
I don't want to miss them in case you do say a 4-letter word. You heard I'm running for governor?
I heard. Is it possible not to hear? You'd have to be passed away not to hear about it.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting, isn't it?
I would say it's exciting for you. I don't know if it's exciting for anybody else.
You don't think it's exciting for anyone else?
I would say it's making a lot of noise already.
It is, isn't it? I don't want you endorsing me, because you know what happens when you endorse people for government.
I wipe out people as soon as I say hello.
Now, you were very hurt, though, because you really went out and campaigned hard for Giuliani the first time around.
He got the campaign for about 3 days really hard.
Yeah. And they sent Jackie Mason out to campaign,
right.
And you used the word Schwarzer, which a lot of people didn't understand.
Right.
You didn't mean it all that.
He was telling a joke.
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
Well, let's be very honest about it. The word Schwarzer means nothing, and I've been saying it on the stage on Broadway for years, and I got Tony Awards and Emmy Awards. I know about one person throughout that whole period with all the awards ever mentioned that there's any implication in that word that's in any way derogatory of anybody or insulting or insinuating. There are a lot of phony bastards in this world. Excuse me. I'm trying to get into the spirit.
Hey, I'm the phoniest bastard. Watch what you say. Yeah.
There's a lot of I'm trying to get into the spirit of your show, but
right.
I'm already talking like you.
Yeah, I mean, to say bastard, it's unbelievable.
That's the worst word he's ever said.
It's close.
Now, I went to see your show, the last one you did on Broadway,
right.
And it was real good. You didn't call it Politically Incorrect, so then, Jackie Mason decided to call it Politically Incorrect, and right away Comedy Central's trying to sue him, Bill Maher. Wasn't that outrageous?
To me, it was unbelievable. As if to tell me that I shouldn't use the name Jackie Mason anymore.
Right.
All my life, the spirit of my attitude and my comedy has always been politically incorrect. I just reminded people by using the title, which really is characteristic of the whole quality of my performance in general.
Yeah, you always said that, Robin.
That's the essence of my whole personality, my style, and my attitude.
Yeah, they can't take that from you.
I've always been an iconoclast who defies the system and says what I please. I never cared about the consequences because I fight for whatever I believe in.
Yeah, even when Ed Sullivan tried to ruin your career.
All my life, I've been like a clean version of you.
Right, exactly. But anyway, so the point is that Jackie Mason is here. And
he got to use the name.
What was weird about getting Jackie Mason on the show was that I for years I wanted Jackie Mason to come on the show. I said, Jackie Mason, you should come on this show. We like you. So I don't know. For some reason we couldn't get you. So listen to how we got him on the show. This is kind of a weird story. Melrose Larry Green, that kook.
Yeah.
All right, Melrose Larry Green's a kook.
Right.
You know, the guy who stands out on Melrose in Los Angeles with posters about Howard Stern for president.
Right.
All the time.
All the
Before
time.
he ever ran for anything.
Yeah, I mean, he does it for free. And he does it day and night.
Right.
He calls us up and says, hey, I'm friends with Jackie Mason.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so if you want him on, I'll arrange it. So we go, hey, you kook.
You can't arrange anything.
Well, you can't arrange anything. You're nobody. He goes, no. I speak to Jackie Mason every day.
Well, it's not exactly every day, but he speaks to me once in a while. I think I spoke to him twice since I know.
Did you see him out there? He's out there today because he's going to be... Gary, bring him in. Have you ever stood next to him? Bring him in.
Do you mean we got Jackie Mason because of him?
Yeah, because I think...
Oh, my God.
All right. And don't go near Jackie Mason, you mental case.
This is the biggest thrill of my life. How you doing, Howard?
Yeah, right. I'm doing fine.
How do you do?
You are Melrose Larry Green. You stand out there all the time with the signs. In fact, Melrose is on the backstage tape, too.
Yes,
I am in the backstage tape. Let me start out by saying I am right now in the presence of the most talented, funniest men in the history of show business, Howard Stern and Jackie Mason.
You ever get tired of kissing ass?
No.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I think he lives.
He lives to serve.
All I've seen is Howard Stern on TV. I flew and I missed the press conference, but congratulations. You didn't need me yesterday, Howard.
Right. I didn't think so.
I think he has more media than everybody in the rest of the world put together. The show's incredible, Jackie.
You went to see it
I
last
was in
night?
the Golden Theater last night. I was recognized thanks to you, Howard.
Right.
Somebody gave me a comp ticket.
Right.
I sat right up there.
Who gave you a comp ticket to the Jackie Mason
show? A big fan of yours.
Really?
A big fan of Jackie's. Fellow from New Jersey.
Things I can't
If he was a fan of mine, he would have paid for the ticket. What do you mean?
All right, Melrose, you're laughing way too hard. Let's listen to him. Did you hear like a mental case laughing in the audience last night? Was that it?
I hope that King of Song Parodies and Cross Country Carl are taping this right now in L.A. because I missed the whole press conference. I was on.
Let me ask you something, Jackie Mason. You really talk to this guy a couple of times a week?
Well, I talk to him very often. We talk
Really?
to each other
We used
very
to be
much.
good friends.
You don't have to be an intelligent person for me to talk to you.
Why is it I can't get you on the phone and yet you talk to him? What is it, Papa Fooey?
Wait a second. Now that I remember, didn't you tell me... Now, Larry, before you were a
Gary.
comedian, you were an accountant. Didn't you used to be... Didn't you ever do Jackie's accounting?
No, I was his personal accountant.
You were Jackie Mason?
You used to stay in the Beverly Hills Hotel. You said, I'm the personal accountant, not the business accountant.
I remember you.
That was one of your lines.
You couldn't account to me for anything as far as I remember.
Jackie, you ever take a look at your bank account, make sure you have money in there?
I don't remember you doing accounting, but I do remember you showing up, and I do remember me trying to get out of your way a few times.
I'm rarely quiet.
Now, how did you work your way into Jackie Mason? I mean, Jackie Mason is a big star.
And I wasn't a very good stand-up comic.
Right.
And Jackie used to play around clubs in L.A. He did a show, The World According to Me, started doing that in L.A.
Yeah, how did you get involved?
I used to go see the show at the Henry Fonda Theater, and I've known Jackie since 1981.
And you have his phone number at home, and you call him?
Jackie gave me his home phone.
That's
really?
Right. I gave him my phone number because periodically I like to get away from reality and deal with
Oh, shut up. So you...
Sorry, king of media.
Yeah, so
Governor Stern.
So you'll call Jackie Mason. How long will he spend on the phone with you?
I called him last night. Ratso called me, and Ratso had the lines tied.
Ratso called you?
Yeah, Ratso called me. And then as soon as Ray Gretzky broke the record, Ratso hung up on me. You know, Ratso must own stock in...
No, let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Because I can't believe this, Jackie. I mean, you are the kind of guy... I never get in touch with you, which I found shocking. Yeah. And yet... Melrose Larry Green can call you, and you will speak to him for how long?
Well, I must be honest with you. I like him better than you. I can't help it.
Oh, God.
Is that about it?
That's shocking.
He was not asking me to be on a show where I know they're going to start saying some kinds of dirty things that I can't keep up with. I have to maintain my image. My image goes perfectly with a sick man like him.
You really? Well, what do you guys talk about? Seriously, Melrose, what do you talk to Jackie Mason about?
We talk, that's what we talk about. Why we have nothing in common, or why we don't get along.
I offer to pick up the check all the time.
Really?
Jackie.
How long do these conversations last? Be honest.
I've talked to Jackie for hours. There's time.
Hours?
I've talked to him once for 2 hours.
Yeah, I wasn't there at the time, but he could talk.
but in other words...
He didn't wait for me to show up. He just talked.
And Jackie Mason himself picks up the phone.
Jackie has called me. In fact, many of his security guards didn't believe that I knew him when I used to go see him at the, where you had the show on 47, the Brooks Atkinson.
Want me to tell you the truth? I find him a warm, loving, decent character.
Is that
the
right?
fact that he's out of his mind is nobody's business.
Right.
He means well, he's sincere, and he's a man who runs around trying to figure out what he's doing on the side. It keeps him busy. And I like to see a person like him have a little attention, have a little company, have a little...
It's very nice
You got
of
to hear what he says about Clinton in the show.
I have great concern
I
for a guy
died
like
last night.
in other words, and I don't mean this in any cutting way. In other words, some people take compassion to the handicapped. They have compassion for different things. You see him as like an
invalid,
or a retarded person.
I don't think we should put him on that level. I think that's insulting to the fact that he's probably even lower than that. No, I really think he's a sweet, kind-hearted guy, and he's just because he's not working too often, because there's no jobs on his level, that's nothing to do with it.
Right.
The point is that he's a wonderful, sweet guy.
Right. And you will continue, you'll continue to take his phone calls, and it sort of puts you in touch with the common man, so you can understand what's on his mind.
That's right.
So, are you telling me that the reason Jackie Mason is here is Larry?
Yeah, I think so. So, Melrose, you called Jackie Mason?
I'm not going to lie to you. The truth of the matter is I'm here for a very good reason. I started just now on Broadway. I'm a very selfish person. I'm desperate for attention right now because I'm looking for crowds at the show.
Right.
It hasn't been reviewed yet.
Right.
And I find when Jews hear about a show before it's reviewed, the first thing they do is go into a panic.
Right.
I'm not going to go there till I see an official commendation from the New York Times. I see a headline that says, I can't live without this show.
Right.
Until they see that headline, everybody's counting $40 for what? I don't know. Is it good, bad? Did I see it before? Is he can repeat a joke I heard before?
Right. So, in other words, because the show hasn't been reviewed, a lot of Jews, and Jews do make up a lot of your audience, but and there's a lot of Jews in New York. In fact, if you just tap into the Jewish audience, you'll be on Broadway for the rest of your life.
Right. And if a few black people show up, thank God.
That would be nice
to them too.
Right. And a lot of Jews.
You notice I didn't say Schwarzer this time.
Right. Very nice. All right. You can endorse me for governor. But the point is that what you're saying is that when the Jews open up the New York Times and they see that it's a legitimate show and that it's funny, then they feel comfortable ordering tickets.
Right.
It's hard to get the Jews to order.
But they know you.
But you know what the ironic thing is? Everybody will say the same thing to you, that I don't listen to reviewers, that I don't like critics. Who the hell are they to tell me where to go, and why should they have that kind of power to be able to decimate shows just because they don't like it? They're so full of crap. I never listen to the son of a... Then they see the review that says, the man stunk. Well, I'll go to the other show.
So they do listen to the reviewers.
Of course.
And you know once you're reviewed that people will... it was a great show, wasn't it, Melrose?
Unbelievable.
What did Jackie say about Clinton?
He's talking about Clinton. You got to see the show. He's talking about Clinton.
You're down on Clinton? You don't like Clinton?
I think if you're normal and you like Clinton, you should be in a sanitarium. But the man obviously is a congenital lie. He can't tell the truth about anything. If you ask him what time it is, I guarantee he won't give you the wrong time, just out of habit.
You say he'll just lie about the time.
The funniest thing he did last night is he's talking about how the justice system, and you and how Howard and Jackie see eye to eye on so much with the criminal justice system. You talk about the Menendez case, and I'm from California. I know all about them. Sick of the Menendez, and the whole thing is talk about that.
It's very rare to meet a guy who ever heard of the Menendez case. I'm glad you noticed what's happening.
Yeah, Melrose, he doesn't want to give away all his material.
Right. And he doesn't want you doing.
Yeah, and you doing Jackie Mason is annoying. I can't even begin to tell you.
No, he's describing to you the character, the essence of the basic
because a lot of people say, I really love the
point of view of the show. That it's the iconoclastic and it attacks.
In other words, you talk about what's in the news, and the show is constantly evolving and changing. Is that right?
2.5 hours.
He's very funny, Jackie Mason. But Melrose, coming from you, people get nervous.
Well,
yeah.
I wonder why, though, Jackie feels that he would have a problem attracting an audience. He was wonderful.
Well, I don't want to lie to you. I don't feel I have a problem, but I think people like to wait for the reviews.
Is that right?
I think, and I'm sure even if the reviews are not so fantastic, they'll probably come to a great extent.
I think they'll be very good.
Now I have enough fans that'll show up.
Yeah.
But I still think that it helps a lot to be on the Howard Stern show, regardless of how unpopular he is.
Right, exactly. Well, I think it will help.
Yeah.
That's an endorsement. All right, listen, Jackie Mason is here. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to ask you about.
Why not? You got nothing else to do.
Right, and Melrose, I'm going to get rid of you.
I won't say anything if I can stand here. I swear I won't say a
don't
word.
stand there.
I think you're making Jackie Mason uncomfortable. Is he making you uncomfortable?
You're not making me uncomfortable at all. You're making me uncomfortable. You guys happen to like this.
Let me say something. I don't mind if you sit here, but if If
I
you
don't think you should be sitting here because the truth of the matter is this is not a place to sit.
Right.
This is not a park.
Jackie, are you saying you'd be more comfortable with Melrose out of here?
No.
You don't care if
he wouldn't say that.
Me one way or another.
I think he wants you to say that.
All right, okay, I got you, Jackie. Jackie, just give me a wink. Wait, Melrose, turn your back.
No, if he sits down, it won't disturb.
No, wait a second. Melrose, turn around for a second so you can't see me, all right? Jackie, just blink once. Seriously?
Don't mind it.
Melrose, get out of here. Get out. All right, I'm sick of you, but you're a big fan. All right, get out.
Thank you.
Now, what's the matter with you? It's enough. You got your shot here. You sat in the room with Jackie Mason.
You did a phenomenal job.
Biggest thrill of my life.
I appreciate the plug. Once you plug me, I don't need the New York Times anymore.
The Will of Tony. Thank you, Howard.
All right, very good. Melrose Larry Green, thank you.
Bye-bye.
The Times is nothing compared to the information I just got from him.
How the hell do you talk to that guy on the phone every couple of nights? I mean, that guy,
that's
seriously,
ridiculous.
what's going on?
Every couple of nights. But I do talk to him once in a while.
You're a nice man.
Generous man. Nobody knows this about you.
I have great compassion for people.
I got to tell you something, Jackie. I never would.
Great, sincere compassion for people like him because the world is full of people who don't really have too many friends and are not too popular and are running around without a job.
Wonderful.
Running around without a job, looking for a place to land.
Right.
And if you give a guy like him a couple of minutes of conversation, it makes his day.
Right. Well, that's very nice.
That's very sweet.
Boy, you're a decent man.
Touched.
I never want to hear anyone say a bad thing about you because, really, I mean...
That's doing more than any of these people who, they go on comic relief or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I find people will give you money to absolve their conscience.
Right.
People will send you a gift to absolve their conscience. They'll never give you 2 minutes of their time.
That's right.
And there's so many lonely people in this country who have absolutely nobody to talk to. And if they don't think they can get anything out of conversation, don't bother me. I think a couple of minutes of a person's time, people need nourishment for the soul as much as for their mouth. They need to be able to make human contact.
Are you running for governor?
You make a good point, and it's something you ought to listen to.
Jackie Mason's play, Politically Incorrect, is in previews at the Golden Theater on 45th Street. It's a one-man show. It opens on April 5th. For tickets, call Telecharge at 212-239-6200. And this is Jackie's third one-man show on Broadway.
I'll be there.
I'm going too. So let's take a break, and then if you'll give me a couple more minutes, Mr. Mason, I would appreciate it.
Before we go, I would just like to point out, since you said that it's his third one-man show on Broadway, a lot of other comedians have tried to do this. Everybody thought since Jackie did it was easy to do.
Listen.
It started a kind of a nightquake full of one-man shows. Everybody said, if this schmuck with an accent like that, who comes from the Catskills that nobody ever paid attention to, if he could wind up on Broadway... I should be on the whole street.
Well, that was funny because remember, like David Brenner came in here and says, "Hey, I'm going to do a one-man show on Broadway."
Everybody's going to do that.
It's just not an easy thing to pull off.
That's right.
You got to have a really unusual act and a sort of a very bizarre way of looking at things.
And a way of handling an audience and the whole thing. And he has it, and not everybody does.
Don't you like that no one else could do it? Don't you like that?
I'm so glad I showed up here. I'll tell you. I usually resent getting up 7 o'clock in the morning for anything, but not for this.
All right, we're going to take a break. Jackie Mason's with us, and
I got no 4:30 if I do this.
He knew if you were going to get your ass kissed.
It's going to be this good, huh?
Did it shock you when I kissed your ass in my best-selling book? Did that shock you?
I was shocked and touched, I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I know it's not exactly the type of sentimentality, but I was really touched that you did that.
Well, I really believe it. I said the three funniest guys in the world were Jackie Mason, Eddie Murphy, and I forget who else I said. Sam Kinison.
Yes.
And I really do believe that. I went to see Jackie Mason on Broadway. I never laughed so hard. And when I walked in, I said, Jackie Mason, he's not going to make me laugh so hard. And he does it. He kills you. And he's right on the money, and he's funny. And he really is one of the... I think there isn't a comedian out there who wouldn't agree with me. How's that for a good ass
My
kiss?
opinion is you're right.
Pull your pants down.
I don't like to make an issue, but you're probably right.
Right.
But I mean,
it's hard for me to agree with you, but
and the only one who thanked me was Jackie for saying, because Sam Kinison never wrote.
Sam Kinison couldn't write.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know what's with that guy. He's too big. And Eddie Murphy's all carried away with himself. But anyway, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Jackie some.
With the Howard Stern Show.
All right, the great Jackie Mason is here.
So far, it looks like you hired me just to listen to commercials.
I know, I can't believe it. You've hardly done anything so far. So far, we had a conversation with the very mental Melrose Larry Green. Jackie Mason hardly got a word in edgewise.
And then we did commercials.
Oh, my friends said I'll get up in the morning. I can't miss you. They'll never know I showed up.
Who are your friends? Who do you hang around with? You have any show business friends?
I have very few show business friends because I find show business friends really don't care about the next person.
You find them
they talk to
insensitive.
you, but they don't know if you're really sitting there right in front of them.
Right.
If you have any good news about your career, they get nauseous.
They do.
Do you go to the Friars Club or anything like that?
I don't want to lie to you. I'm not a member of the Friars.
Why is that? You don't like those people?
No, God bless them. I hope they make a comfortable living. But when I'm not working, they would love me. But I became a hit.
Right.
Now, as soon as I walk into the club, I would see 200 Jews and 7 Italians getting very nauseous.
Right. And the point is, Jackie Mason is 100% correct. He does it in a humorous way, but it is true that people in show business, and probably in all business, as soon as you start doing well, when you got super hot, you had a whole revival going.
Right.
Man, they probably just didn't.
I heard nothing but love in the streets. I'm happy for you. I thank God for you. And every time I passed a guy in show business, I would see a guy passing away right in front of me.
Yeah, right. Everyone was angry.
It looked like he was just hit by a truck. The whole personality was falling apart.
And they should be happy.
An effort for them to let me know how happy they were, but it rang so false. It was like Clinton swearing about his compassion for the Haitians.
Really? So when you are on a roll, you'd rather just avoid show business people. So the circle of friends that you have are not in show business.
Very few. There's very few. There's a couple that are very magnanimous and full of love in their hearts, like Corbett Monica. He's a very sweet, gentle, lovable guy.
Is he in show business?
He's not only in show business. Not only in show business, he's a genius.
Is he really?
He's a brilliant talent.
Yeah, but you call everyone a genius.
No, I really don't. If I thought a guy stunk, I certainly would not mention it. But I'm not going to come here
Jackie Martling
and lie to you about a guy who's brilliant.
Jackie the Joke Man has the best Jackie Mason story. Years ago, Jackie the Joke Man met Jackie Mason. And I guess Jackie Mason was at some comedy club. Jackie was there, and Jackie said something to Jackie Mason. And Jackie Mason turns to the Joke Man, who was just getting started in comedy, and Jackie Mason says, "You are a genius. What you just said was genius." 2 seconds later, they get in an elevator. The guy in the elevator goes down one floor. Jackie Mason turns to the elevator guy and says, you got us from that floor to the other floor. You are a genius. You are a...
So he just goes, everybody...
Jackie Martling said he was so complimented Jackie Mason thought he was a genius until he started complimenting that elevator guy. And that was the end of it. So the
matter is, I don't do that. I was trying to be funny, maybe, at that moment. But I never do that. I just have I have a very definite commitment to the idea of never insulting people unless they deserve it, because I think they're bad people in some way.
Right.
They're doing anybody any harm. But to insult people just for the fun of it, or to abuse people's dignity, decency, I find
you don't do that.
No.
Yeah, leave that to me.
That's right.
But
now I have to ask some questions here.
Yeah.
Because you did something last year before that kind of surprised me.
What was that?
I didn't know whether you were serious or not. Now, Howard is declared for governor.
Right.
You declared for, what was that new public advocate. Were you serious?
I don't know if I was serious. I know the people weren't.
Right. Nobody took up on that.
If I was serious, I was the only one.
Right.
Because that was the best secret ever held.
But, Jackie, you've made a lot of money, right? I mean, you're a wealthy man. You don't have to do...
That's a lie. I'm not a wealthy man compared to you, but I make a living.
No, but I'm saying you're a multi-millionaire, are you not?
No.
Really? From all your shows and the TV deal?
I've had disastrous years in this business, not only in terms of professionally, in terms of the secondary level of my career.
Right.
I'm talking about the fact that I produced 3-4 pictures all with my own money and all
you did?
a fortune.
Oh,
I was desperate to make myself a star.
Right.
I felt I deserved to be a star, and I had a lot of intense confidence in my talent.
Right.
And I didn't care if I was the only one at the time.
Right.
And I was determined to prove that there's nobody better than Jackie Mason.
So
I couldn't find anybody to agree with me.
And you would put up your own hard-earned money.
So I put in all my very own money. And I lost $1 million on one picture. I lost $1 million on another picture. I produced a pilot that went into the toilet.
Really?
I produced a Broadway show with all the characters, like a Neil Simon type comedy, except without the talent. And that bombed in about a second and a half.
So you went through millions of dollars.
And that was all your money?
All my own money.
Did your friends try to warn you? Did they say, hey, you're crazy here, you can't put up your own money?
I couldn't care less, because the money part of it never interested me. It never made any difference to me if I won or lost. As soon as I lost, I tried another project. I was just determined to see if I could crack this game and make myself a star.
Right.
And I was considered too Jewish for stardom, too Jewish for Jews. You were
even considered too Jewish for the show, weren't you? We wouldn't have Jackie Mason on. He was too Jewish.
Every Jew that said hello to me said, do you need that accent? Why do you talk like that?
Where did that come from?
Jews from Brooklyn.
He puts that on. He was in here talking like an Englishman before.
Right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's British.
He's British. He's actually British.
But I know that you don't talk like that, but I always talk like this.
I know. But the point is that you took your own money, you went into these projects, and you said, I should be a star. And then just when you thought, hey, it's never going to happen, it happened all of a sudden. And it got big.
That's exactly what happened.
Was that Broadway thing your money?
I was with Jill Rosenfeld, who's my manager.
Now, is that your wife?
No.
You guys aren't married?
No, I don't want to even discuss it.
Really?
My personal life.
Really? Is it that wacky?
You're running for governor. You should discuss more important things. Since when do people running for governor walk around asking what's going on in your personal marriage?
You mean, Jackie, it's that... I mean, you talk about anything. You mean it's that wild that you can't even talk about it?
No, because it's a very personal kind of thing, and, and I have the greatest, awesome respect for her.
Right. And she's still your manager.
She's been my manager for 15 years, and she'll always be my manager as long as I live. But the romance didn't work. And that's nothing to do with your business. Really? Wow, this must be some story.
It was amazing to me, even reading about it.
She was the one who came up with the idea of this whole politically incorrect.
Really? Well, she's a great manager. Why would you go mess it up by getting married?
The truth of the matter is that it was a personal kind of relationship on a different level.
You fell in love for a few weeks.
The papers made a sinister about getting married.
Right.
It was nothing but love in my heart.
So you are free to date now. Is that correct?
Always was.
You must get good-looking girls.
Not only good-looking girls, I get good-looking guys, too.
Really? But I never see you...
I get good-looking furniture, everybody.
But you keep that stuff quiet. I mean, I never see you out on the town with some hot blonde or something like that.
I've seen him out on the town.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
With blondes?
Not blonde. She was a brunette.
Really? Young?
Young.
No kidding. This son of a gun.
Well, I don't want to eat your heart out so early.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't
want to make you miserable, but the truth of the matter is I go out with a girl if she shows up.
Really? How do you meet these girls? Do they come to the show? Do they come to your one-man show, Politically Incorrect?
In this business, it's almost impossible not to meet pretty girls.
Right.
There are girls who are phonies looking for jobs as singers.
Right.
And there are girls who are phonies who need a few dollars.
Right.
They're all phonies, though.
They're all phonies. How many? Are there any girls who aren't phonies?
There's legitimate girls, too. Those I don't meet too often.
Right. And who wants to date them? Right.
You know what they look like.
But, I mean, you can get young women. I mean, you don't have to go with some housefrau. I mean, could you get a 20-year-old girl?
I don't know if I could get her, but if she shows up, I'll talk to her.
Well,
really?
I'll tell you, the woman I saw him with was very young.
Really?
I think the trick is for them to get me, not for me to get them. Just because I'm over 37, let's see, I'm 38 now. Just because of that.
But you're a desirable man. I mean, you've got a position, you've got money. Women are attracted to that.
Now the question is this: in other words, you're trying to say the essence of my character, my personality, my charm, and my beauty wouldn't get them.
Right.
To say that I need a lot of cash to get a
right. Exactly. But you lavish... Exactly. But you know that. I mean, that's how the game is played.
No, the truth is I'm studying, and that's why they go for me.
Right.
They can't control themselves when they look at me.
But do you
that's
give...
the real reason.
Do you give...
because you can't get girls because you don't look that perfect, has nothing to do with me.
Do you lavish gifts on them? I mean, never...
I buy them nothing.
Really?
I wait for them to buy me things.
Right.
I lost enough money on my movies. I'm not going to start supporting people I never met before.
So, in other words, they really have to love you for you if they date you,
right?
That's
right. I sit there with my clothes off, and I say, do whatever you want.
Right. And these women, they go wild because they're with Jackie Mason in bed.
That's it.
They can't believe it.
That's right.
And do they tell their parents, I'm with Jackie Mason in bed?
They call from the bedroom.
That's right. And then the parents come because the mother wants to do the same thing.
Right. The mothers love you.
Why should she be left out? Then she comes in with her clothes off. So I see how
but in comedy, you know how the comedians are always saying there's no real groupies. But there are groupies. There are comedy groupies, and you could get two girls in bed with you, couldn't you?
No, I'm not that type.
You're not into that.
That's for you.
That really, you would never go for that.
No, I'm not that kind of a degenerate.
Serious.
I'm serious.
You're a degenerate, but not that kind.
But that's worse than eating crabs.
Really? Was that a religious thing with you? That it's wrong?
Not it's necessarily.
It's immoral or something?
I don't put it on a moral level. I really don't. I think it has nothing. I think what people do in a bedroom has nothing to do with morality. Of course, if you happen to be a religious person and you have moral standards or religious standards about it, I have no right to criticize you. Everybody has a right to standards, whatever they decide to choose. But my opinion is that all these moralities about sex are a fraud and a phony story in most cases. But you like to preach morality. Meanwhile, they're all watching the same filthy pictures. Do you know that pornographic movies sell almost 4 times as much as legitimate movies?
Yes.
In those TV stores?
Yes.
What do you call that?
Yes. In the video store. Right.
And you ask anybody in the world, do you ever watch it? Not me. I find it offensive, disgusting. Everybody has the same prepared speech. The same prepared speech travels the country. Me, never. But as soon as you turn it on, they can't breathe.
Well, I couldn't believe Bill Clinton in the paper the other day. They asked him about the country, and he's screaming about the media. They have too much sex and violence on it.
Television,
all the sex and violence is in his own house.
Right. So
it wouldn't be half as much sex if he wasn't such a participant. This guy, This guy is the leader of the game. He's busier with sex than 300 people put together. If anybody had that much sex, they would all be dead from heart attacks.
Right.
This guy's the healthiest guy in the world.
So
and he's spent his whole life going from house to house. He's been in more houses than the Avon lady, and he has the life to talk about.
So the point is that even if you were offered 2 women at the same time, you would pass. That's something that you just don't go for.
No, I don't go for those.
Boy,
one at a time. One at a time.
I would go for that. Yeah. I would go for that.
Next time I see it, I'll give you a call.
Yeah, give me a call if you ever come across that.
I got a guy for you.
Jackie Mason's new Broadway show is politically incorrect. It is
two guys I might vote.
You never had homosexual sex, right? That goes against the Jewish religion. You could never do that.
Just like the dietary laws. He's not
no crabs,
partaking.
no men, and no 2 women at the same time.
Because I don't want to imitate your lifestyle.
Right. So what do you do all day? What is your day like?
My day is more like to sitting in coffee shops talking to people.
Really?
My day is watching and observing people. I love to sit in lobbies and watch people. I love to talk to them and ask them personal questions about their private life. I find that every human being is a book of his own and a story of his own.
Right.
And the way it differentiates from everybody else is a fascinating story. I think people go to the movies and read novels and read books. And what is it all about? It's all about somebody else's life. If a guy tells it to you, they say, yeah, what do you care about his story? It's so boring. People run like a thief. But then if the guy writes it down, they make a movie out of it, and they're fascinated with it.
Right.
It's the same
It's a different thing. It's the same stupid story.
Stupid story. But you have to see it in an art form.
Right.
So you could feel like an intellectual. If you hear it in the street, you feel like a putz. He's wasting your time.
Now, Schindler's List you must have been happy about, because after all, it brings up the Holocaust and all that kind of thing, right?
Right,
and,
right. I think everybody deserves to have the story of his culture and his problems and his tragedies made public, so that people could be aware and concerned about how the other people have suffered. And I just like white people today for the very first time know about the misery of the blacks and what they went through throughout the history of the story of slavery and Africa and every place else, and the culture they have and the story they represent.
That's true.
Before nobody knew anything about it, they just saw a black person, don't bother me.
Right. Well, listen, I saw the movie. The best movie to learn about the black people is Mandingo.
Oh, here we go.
This was the greatest movie. Ken Norton, the boxer.
Yeah.
He was a slave in this movie. And they have him up there on the auction block, and this old woman comes up. She sticks her hands right down his pants. And she has to check him. Make sure that what she's buying is good. And, man, that's some movie. That's when I realized the pain of the black man.
Right.
So I want to applaud that movie also. It's called Mandingo. Pick it up in your store. Hey, let me also... you should see Jackie Mason's entourage out there.
Oh, he has an entourage.
Hey, you always travel with people.
I don't know why they call it an entourage. If you're not such a celebrity and you're walking around with 2 more people, they say these are your friends.
No. You got a lawyer out there. You got your manager out there.
But, no, I don't have a manager. Jill Rosenfeld is my manager.
Oh, that's not Jill Rosenfeld?
No, Jill
Who's that with you?
Right now. I haven't got a
publicist?
No, who's that? A publicist?
Here with me.
You got
confusing 3 men with 1 woman.
Who's out there?
This is Jackie's lawyer.
Oh, wow. Look at that. You travel with a lawyer.
Yeah.
How you doing? And who's this?
Yes, hello, Howard. I'm Mel Sachs.
Oh, hi, Mel.
Yeah, right.
Look at this. It's 3 guys with Jackie.
Sitting ovation.
But who is this man?
The truth of the matter is I'm their entourage, because these are successful people compared to me.
What is your name?
This is Mel Sachs, the most prominent criminal attorney probably in the whole country.
Is that right?
In the whole country. Almost every celebrated mass murderer has been a client of his.
Is that right? Like who? Who are your mass murderers?
If he finds out you're not a mass murderer, he won't even talk to you.
What mass murderers have you defended? Seriously.
The serial killers that you've defended.
I represented somebody who was charged with serial murder. Right now I'm representing somebody who was saving a woman who was being attacked in her own apartment. He actually couldn't get through the front door. He went through an adjacent apartment in a fire escape, shot and killed the intruder.
I see.
He was a good Samaritan.
Right.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about that. What about
the mass murderers? What about the serial murderers? That's what we want to hear about.
Defending them, every mass murderer becomes a very great humanitarian.
He was protecting himself.
Every mass murderer becomes a humanitarian, but he's the lawyer.
You know, I can't get anyone to say nice things about me, but here's an attorney saying nice things about serial murderers. It's unbelievable.
Because he depends on it for a living. He's got no conscience.
So is this a friend of yours, or does he defend you in some way?
He's one of my very closest friends. I was once a serial murderer, but I gave that up.
Right. So
he's one of my very dearest friends, and this is Mel Cole, another one who was a very dear friend.
Now, Mel, what do you do for Jackie?
I'm a good buddy.
No, what do? You just hang around?
He doesn't hang around. Why are you putting people down?
No, I'm not putting him down. I'm trying to you see he's a good bud. Do you have a regular job?
When you're with another guy in the street, are you just hanging around?
Well, I want to know. He must do something for you. He's here. He's part of an entourage.
No, he's not an entourage.
I can see your attorney is here, the mass murderer attorney. But
I was worried about Jackie.
Why did you tell him who you were?
I'm a comedian, and And I'm a good buddy of Jackie's.
Oh, so I always know that comedians always hang around with other comedians.
Didn't you used to do a character? I do characters.
You do? What character did he do, Baba Flo?
I can't remember the name now. He looks familiar. I thought
so you get to hang around with Jackie Mason?
It's a learning experience.
And why, Jackie, do you hang around with this gentleman? I mean,
he happens to be also a lawyer besides being a comedian.
Is that right?
I'm serious.
Seriously?
Because if you saw his comedy, you'll know he needs a lawyer.
That's right. And what about this other gentleman? Now, what do you do?
This is the owner of Plax. You heard of Plax, the mouthwash?
Yeah.
He is the creator, inventor, and owner of Plax.
So a lot of these wealthy guys... This is a wealthy man. He wants to say, my friend is Jackie Mason.
No, I want to say I'm friends of the owner of Plax. This way I get a free mouthwash.
Let me ask you something here. You invented Plax?
Yeah.
Now, that's the thing, the wooden thing that you take on your gums and you massage your gums?
No.
I'm a big Plax user.
What is it?
Plax is a mouthwash.
And what is that supposed to do?
It helps prevent decay in the mouth. And my dentist, it says it's the only one that actually does anything.
Now, you invented Plax. Take a look in Gary's mouth. What the hell kind of endorsement is that?
You say that.
And you invented Plax?
Right.
Now, how do you invent something like that?
I was a periodontist.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
And you said, boy, I got to get something that will clean up the mouth.
Right. Besides, he just wanted to stop working for a living. That was the main thing.
Right. And now you don't even have to work anymore, right? I mean, you just collect a check.
And hang around with Jackie.
And hang around with Jackie Mason.
Right.
So when you guys all go out to lunch, who picks up the tab?
Not him.
Really?
Not me.
You people with big money never buy nothing. You know that. That's how they keep their money.
I know, but isn't it
The truth of the matter is he happens to be a spender, but he's unusual among the wealthy people I've ever met.
Really? So
every waiter, every busboy, every cab driver will tell you that the worst tippers and the worst spenders are the biggest millionaires.
So this is like a rat pack for you. In other words, these are the guys you pal around with. You guys go out pick up girls and stuff and all that.
We're more like the deli pack.
Really? And you hang around in delis and what? Girls come up to the table. Are you married, sir, from Plax? Oh, you are.
Married.
And Jackie doesn't introduce you to some of his girls?
Never.
And what happens? You sit around and everyone sees you, and with Jackie Mason, you can tell your friends you're a friend of Jackie Mason?
No, he's also a friend, a very close friend of Liza Minnelli.
Really?
He was a very close friend of Sammy Davis Jr.
How do you work your way into...
Mr. Plax.
Yeah, how does a guy from Plax work his way into...
Because everybody needs a mouthwash.
Really? Well, this is exciting. This is an exciting entourage. I've gotten a peek into the exciting world of Jackie Mason.
First he lost them up for 10 minutes. I did nothing but bums following somebody around. And nobody would talk to them, and they have to chase me because they can't get a conversation. Then he finishes by saying, these are the greatest people he ever met.
These are the greatest bums I ever met. It's unbelievable. All of you are all distinguished in your own field. Good luck to you. And Jackie, good luck to you, because I got news for you. You're hanging around with a bunch of guys here who seem to be hangers-oners or something like that.
Listen, I really appreciate
Now, the new show. Never mind all this. This has been fun, but let's get to the point of why you woke up early. Jackie Mason's new Broadway show, Politically Incorrect, is in previews at the Golden Theater on 45th Street. Now, as soon as this show is reviewed, you're not going to be able to get a ticket.
That's true. So
That's
I
the
better
problem.
go now.
So if you go now, you'll be able to get in. It opens on April 5th. For tickets, call Telecharge. You will never see a funnier man.
That's soon. I got to get in there.
I called him in my book one of the top 3 funniest men in the world. Sam Kinison is no longer around. Eddie Murphy doesn't perform shows.
So that makes him the top 2.
It makes him
top 1.
He's the top 1. So Jackie Mason, the funniest man in the world, will be available by making this phone call, 212-239-6200. That's the number for Telecharge, and you will see why I call him the funniest man in the world. He really is Jackie Mason, the great Jackie Mason.
Well, you can tell right here. He's a funny man.
God bless you. I don't know what other people think of you, but I think...
You got to at least think something nice of me. I called you the funniest man in the world.
All these compliments, whatever I thought of you before, I'm going to have to take it back. It won't be easy.
That's
Take
right.
it under advisement.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Jackie Mason, and we'll be back right.
The Howard Stern Show.
It's good to have Jackie Mason in here. How weird was it that he makes real phone calls to Melrose Larry Green?
I still, if it was true, his sentiment that, it's easy to give money, but it's hard to give away your time, that's an incredible thing.
Yeah. It was weird that Melrose Larry Green
talks to Jackie Mason.
Yeah, because I just can't imagine anyone putting in 2 hours on the phone with Melrose Larry Green. I don't think his mother puts in 2 hours.
No, aren't you trying to get away from Melrose Larry Green?
What? Yeah.
He approaches you?
He makes my skin crawl. You know what's funny about it, too? It's like maybe Jackie Mason will set a trend now. All the celebrities, all the comedians want to start calling Melrose Larry Green for 2-3 hours at a time.
All of a sudden, he'll feel better about himself.
Maybe we should start calling Melrose Larry Green just to see what it's like.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting concept. Instead of just giving money to charity.
Just calling people who are hard up. What is it, Fafafoni?
I make those phone calls, and so does Ratso.
What?
To Larry Green a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I took to
No,
Larry.
you do it as business, don't you?
Well, it starts out as business, but then he calls, and you just end up on the phone with him.
Is he that interesting?
Oh, he's too interesting.
Really?
He's
hooks you in, huh?
It all revolves around you.
Right.
You know, about how... did you know that it's been 9 months since Larry's last appearance?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, he knows it. He counts every day.
Right.
And then he calls up Ratso, and he gets crazy, and he leaves his messages about how he hates the show, and that's it. He's given up on us. And then he calls back and apologizes and begs Ratso not to play the message for me.
Wow.
But he really thinks that, like...
What upsets him about the show? I'd love to know.
I'll tell you exactly what upsets him, that we ignore him. when he, like, months will go by, and he'll say, you know, you guys made me what I am, and then you just leave me here, and how could you do this to me? And I'm doing this, and I've got comedy shows, and you guys ignore me. And then he calls and gets angry.
Really?
Really angry messages.
So why don't I play those messages on the air?
Actually, we have some of them, I
Go
think.
get them. I want to hear it.
Yeah. And what's Ratso doing involved with him?
I don't know. Ever since Ratso and I worked on the book together, Ratso's now involved with every wacko that's involved with the show. I don't know. And then I talked to Ratso. I go, maybe Ratso's wacko.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be talking to him.
Yeah. Guess there's very little difference between Ratso and Melrose Larry Green. I don't know.